Hey everyone, it's Rob from EDC Specialties. Now you might know us from the retail store, which actually signed the lease on 8 years ago this month. But 1 year ago today, we got our new workshop right behind me over my right shoulder. And it has really changed the way EDC Specialties does business. And we've created an incredible custom shop. So today I'm going to give you a tour and show you everything we do in there. Come on with me. All right, guys, before we go inside, this is not only the workshop for EDC Specialties, but it also houses EDC Tool Company. It's our sister company who makes all the tools and is really in charge of the manufacturing side of stuff. But all the custom work and everything is done in here. Come on in. All right, guys, we're here in the graphics room at EDC Specialties. This is our shipping station. So everything that comes in, website orders and everything gets shipped out through here. We've got all our packing materials. We've got our peanuts up here. Everything's very easy. And we just print our labels right here and everything gets shipped out each and every day. In the graphics department, we have a number of different machines. This is a 30-watt fiber laser. This machine and this one over here, the 50-watt fiber laser, are really great machines. They can do just about anything. And having a graphics background, we're able to use these machines really to the ultimate capabilities. So anytime you see patterns on our work, anytime you see laser markings, we do everything from our golf tools. We can do the markings on those on the laser to some of the most extravagant color work you've seen. As we move around here, we have a small CNC machine. This is great for doing knife scales, all kinds of other small work on soft metals and other materials like G10, micarta, etc. You can see some golf clubs here. We do a lot of golf club restoration. So we'll be taking some of these clubs, these old rusty clubs, we'll be completely refinishing them, removing them from their original shaft and replacing and restoring them completely. As we move over, we've got one of our graphics machines here. This is our Bamboo Lab P1S 3D printer. As you can see, it's printing right now. We use the 3D printer for so many different things. Right now, I'm printing holders for our 2x72 belts. So these will go up on the wall and the belts will hang over them like that. You'll see that a little bit later in the tour. But we also do things like prototyping, so we're coming up with new knives and different designs. We can prototype them here on the 3D printer and we have something to work with. We also, you'll see the jigs and other things around as we go. We have a Cricut vinyl cutter, so we can cut vinyl masks. Anytime we need to do masks when we're doing anodization, spray, anything like that. We can also do stickers and all kinds of cool stuff there as well. Our 50-watt laser, this is our more powerful laser and the one that we utilize most often. Anytime you have something, whether we're doing a quick engraving on your knife, like putting, letters on there, initials, or a message for personalization, or doing custom work like our fish finder series, the 50-watt fiber is the one we count on most of the time. And you see these little nodules on here, again, from the 3D printer. We use our brains around here. So we have different setups that we can just jig into place. So here, that's a caddy tool setup. So I can take 6 caddy tools that are plain. Obviously, these are already lasered, but we'll put these down in place like this. Boom, 6 are in place. I hit the button, zzz, all gets done. We want to do the back side, just take the other one, put them on the back side, drops right into place. Everything's centered, nothing moves, and we do the backs. So this is the graphics room, and really it's only part of what we can do here at EDC Specialties when it comes to graphics. We are now doing UV perma stickers. This is on a Yeti, and this has a great feel. It's on there forever. Full color logos, you guys, and if you need these done, they can be really put on anything, and they're wear-proof, waterproof. They'll last forever. So that's UV stickers. Come on out into the Bay Area. We have a really competent workshop here, and we have pieced this together little by little, not only over the past year. That's allowed us to grow as we came into this bigger space, but we've been doing this for years. As the retail business began to grow and customization became more and more desirable, people would ask, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And it started with simple sharpening. I always wanted to make sure that we did free knife sharpening on any knife you bought from us for life. Just bring it back in, we'll sharpen it for free. And Greg was up in the front sharpening on our initial Wicked Edge system for about a year. Someone said, hey, can you do titanium anodization? We said, sure. How do you do that? And then we made it happen. And now, years later, the business has grown into something that is tremendously creative and tremendously capable. So this is the job staging area. When jobs come in, there are many different departments and many different processes that they may have to go through. So as they come in, we set them up here, we look at them. This is also where we finalize jobs as well. They can head out to their different departments by getting put into the correct places. Some beautiful custom Medfords that we just finished up. Tremendous example of some of the work that we can do. Beautiful colorization. These knives didn't look anything like this before. So if you have something you'd like some new life put into, bring it in. We also do Kidex sheaths. We'll get to this, to the Kidex station a little bit later, but we just finished those 3 sheaths up. Even stuff like bicycle parts, you guys, if it's titanium, we can work on it. This is just custom flamed seat neck. All right, so let's move into the actual work area. We do a lot of sharpening. Greg has about 4 different systems that he sharpens on, depending upon the knife, the type of edge you're looking for, etc. So up in the front in the retail store is the Wicked Edge Gen 4 Pro. And that way, when someone comes in for sharpening, a lot of times we can get a quick touch and tune done right there. Greg doesn't have to come back here to do it. But back here, we have the Gen 3 system set up, and he brings certain knives back here to get done on the Gen 3. We also have a WE 130. We have the Tormex system, which is a motorized system, has a stone on one side and a leather strop on the other side. So a lot of times Greg will either do an edge on one of the other systems, maybe come over and strop it on this, or utilize this to do just about anything when it comes to, sharpening knives that aren't friendly with other systems. So all different types of sharpening, and we sharp test everything. So your knife's going to be sharper than it ever was before. You can send them in to us. And again, any knife you buy from us is free sharpening for life. Titanium anodization station. Oh boy, we spend a lot of time here. We are anodizing tools. We are anodizing knives. Anodization is the process of using either electrolysis plus chemicals or heat to add color to titanium. And what we're really doing is we're changing the way light is refracted off of the crystals of the surface of the titanium. So there's a few different baths here, and there's a hot etch over here. The hot etch cleans the titanium, degreases it, preps it for anodization. And then depending upon what we're trying to do, if we're looking to achieve black, we do it in this chemical bath. And if we're looking to achieve our color spectrum, we do it in this chemical bath. It's an art. It's not a science. There is science involved, but every bit of this is art. And when Greg and I are in here working on anodization, it doesn't always cooperate. It's not just like, oh, okay, make it blue, turn it to 30 and it's going blue. It's just not like that. Every piece of metal is different, acts different, and we have to really play with it in order to get it right, get it the way we want it to look. We can do sponge ano, we can do paintbrush ano, anything that you can think of, we can really achieve. The Fish Finder series, and you see the fish up here, this was something that we did this year. Anyone who is part of our Fish Finder series bought a seasonal knife, one for each of the seasons. We did the trout in spring, bass in summer, striper in fall, and they're actually going to get to choose their own fish for winter. But this is up here so that we can cross check our colors. So when we're looking at the knife scale up next to this photograph here, and we say, okay, we need to have blue on the bottom, it's going to come up a little lighter blue, there's going to be pink in the center and green on top, black spots. How do we do that? That is a process that comes through here multiple times, goes back to the laser, comes back here to get anodized. So you can anodize high colors first, and then your lower colors won't affect it. So we always choose the highest first. We'll put the green on, then we'll go in, put the pink in, and then a little bit of the blue down there on the bottom, and then finally it'll go to the laser for the black spots. So something like that could take an hour, it could take 2 hours, just depends on how easily that knife wants to cooperate with us all the way across the board. Anodization, beautiful, wonderful thing, and if you have anything you'd like anodized, please send it in to us. Right next to the anodization station is another treatment. Of course, flaming, we do a lot of flaming here. So you see us flaming titanium tools and parts and other things like that. But we also have acid wash. I believe that's muriatic acid, I think. And of course, the neutralizing solution, and then a special solution that we have here that we created a special finish with that we do in-house. I'm not going to give that secret away. But when you want to do acid wash, we usually start there, then it'll come out and it'll go into the tumblers and you can get all that nice feel to it. You know, moving along, we're going to move into the machining section here. We have a Grizzly mini mill. So this mill is set up, it's got a motor on it, so it's all automatic. Basically, we can cut anything from aluminum, steel, titanium. We can mill surfaces flat. We can do all types of bevels. This is an example of a 3D jig that we created, and this is printed on our 3D printer. All of these slots are for our golf tools. So this will hold 18 tools on either side, so there's 36 tools there. And when those tools are in place, the mill head comes down. You can see that bit on there has an angle on it, and it goes across and it cuts the exact angle on the tool that we're looking for. So our mini milling machine really is a fairly new addition for us in this shop, and really has been a tremendous tool for us to get manufacturing done. And of course, behind there, you have your hundreds of different bits and all types of collets, everything that goes along with this. It's not just buy a machine and you're good. Next to it is our lathe. We can do some really cool stuff with the lathe. We're starting to get this fired up. We got a piece of steel in there right now, but that's a piece of Chad Nichols titanium Damascus. And this, we can make rings, we can make beads, we can do all kinds of stuff with that. Moving down here a little bit more, we've got the Dremel station. So this is a Fordham tool. It's a high power Dremel with a foot pedal. And we can do everything from polishing to fine engraving. We've got a small chamfer tool there. This is the solder station. Something breaks or we need to solder something, we'll do that. We also have a jeweler's torch. This is meant for fine flaming. So you can do very fine lines. You can see how tiny that torch is, made for jewelry. We also cut keys. I don't know if you know this or not, but since we sell keychains up in front, we have a key cutter here. So if you need your keys duplicated, you come in, buy a key bar, set your keys down, we'll get them duplicated for you and get you set up with a whole new set of keys and key bars. We got residential blanks, commercial blanks, all that kind of stuff there. This is a rod bender. So this is for our pocket clips. So we take titanium pocket clips that we have cut to our design. We heat them up and we bend them in this simple rod bender. Now I'm going to have you kind of come back around here with me because that's only one side of this area, as you can see. This side of the workshop here is essentially the disassembly and reassembly station. So Greg spends a lot of time here. He's got a few different stations that he can work on. So he has 3, 4, 5 different projects going on at a time. All knife parts for certain knives will stay together and on their own trays, so we know what's what. And we've got a toolbox full of stuff there. Greg can pretty much fix anything. That's what I like to say. Sometimes knives come in and they are dirty. Guys, don't, you know, if it's got fish guts on it, just clean it off a little bit before you send it in to us, unless you want to pay us to clean it. And we do that too. We do have something, basically it's a deep clean. A lot of times knives, especially much older knives that have been carried and used for many years, they've got a lot of gunk in them. You're talking about buildup that has basically stuck itself in place. You're not just going to take a Q-tip and get it out of there. So we'll use the ultrasonic cleaner. We'll put it in here for a half an hour at 140 degrees with an ultrasonic cleaning solution in there. We've got a WD-40 bath. We have our frog lube bath. So that's heated frog lube. So any parts that really need to be restored or refreshed will go through this process. Everything gets kind of brushed down with a toothbrush or a wire brush, and then when it's put back together, it's re-lubed and resharpened and pretty much in the best condition that you can get it in. So that's called a full deep clean. The next station over is the Kidex station. Like I mentioned, we're making Kidex sheaths for knives, and we'll be able to do other things too. We're getting creative. Just did a double sheath for these two tools. For the guys across the street, they do the artificial turf, and so they want custom sheaths done. Basically, the grinder is set up with these particular pads. They clean the Kidex edges up real nice. Our arbor press can put the rivets in. This is the actual Kidex press here. It's just a manual press. At some point we'll get a vacuum station and do it that way. But for right now, we can make sheaths for just about any size knife. We've done some pretty good size ones and some smaller ones as well. So if you're looking for a new Kidex sheath, give us a holler. We do have in stock, we have like black, OD green, and tan Kidex, and we can get just about anything else. Now in this area, you see some other stuff. This is our leather tray die. So this is a die that we had created. And if you're familiar with our leather trays, they're like this. Basically, these are not marked, or they don't have the snaps in them yet, but we have a stack of leather here. So we buy leather by the hide. So we buy a bunch of big hides and we stamp these out on our jack press here, bottle jack. And basically I can stamp a whole bunch of those trays out. Then we bring them over, use these arbor presses up here to stamp in the snaps, and you've got your leather trays. Again, just ask if it's something you'd like us to make. As we move into this area, this is the buffing station here. So a lot of times people will ask for high polish work, whether that's on knife handles or blades. This is the polishing station. We have special wheels that are meant specifically to be able to polish and get us like a mirror polish in no time. And this is a messy process here, but we have several different compounds, several different wheels, and we're really able to get really high quality polish. This is an Ameribraid 2x72 system. It basically has a 6-foot sanding belt on it. Okay, you can see all of our belts up here meant for all different purposes, for either hogging material or even leather strops, very fine materials, finished belt. We grind off all the slag. We get these prepped and ready to go. We use it for just about everything. You can see tool manufacturing is not simple. There's tools all over the place in different stages of production. You see all of our different jigs here. Again, 3D printed on our 3D printer. This is actually meant to go on the 2x72. It'll hold 15 tools, and we get the right angle on that. Sometimes there's a lot of waste too. As the workshop grows, we continue to do more stuff. This little machine, we use this to create our leather strops. So this helps us to get the wood faced and ready, and then also shape and prep the leather as well. Our just tools and fasteners station, everything from PPE to every different type of fastener and just about every freaking tool you can imagine. Everyday Caddy tool has its own area here. This is where we create these retail displays. So when a pro shop or a golf store is ready to stock the Everyday Caddy tool, we can get them set up with an in-store display. We make these ourselves. We design this. We have it printed on adhesive. We have the acrylic cut. We actually put the whole thing together. It's part of what we do. When we need something, we make it. The blast station. Seems like we're on this thing every single day, whether we are restoring old rusted tools or we are creating new finishes, whether we're prepping for PVD or for aluminum anodization. The media blaster is a big part of this whole deal, and it will just create a beautifully even surface on metal and other types of materials. It removes paint, it removes anodization, all kinds of other stuff. So a lot of times you've got to use the blaster to get rid of all the crud on the surface, and then you have a really nice, beautiful, fresh material to work with. Finally, you guys, our water jet, one of the coolest pieces of equipment in the shop. This water jet is our tool to use for small production runs of tools of any type of design we want to prototype. We can cut carbon fiber on here, we can cut titanium, we can cut all types of plastics, G10, etc. This little water jet gets filled up with water, uses a high pressure system to actually blast right through titanium and can cut shapes for us that we create in the computer. I don't know if you guys knew that we did all that stuff, and there's probably some things I forgot. That's the tour. EDC Tool Company, and all up top, that's all storage. We have raw materials up there. We have sheets of titanium, carbon fiber. We've got all kinds of other tools and stuff that we can work with. If you have a project that you'd like to see us work on, we would love to work on it for you. Don't be afraid to ask. We can do just about anything here at EDC Specialties and EDC Tool Co.